I want us to give us an overview of the potential and how lucrative this business is in a place like Nigeria.
Thank you very much. Events planning is a very beautiful business. And it has a very good market. And it's a very lucrative market because event planning and events management is broad. So we have weddings, we have corporate events, we have semi-corporate events, and social events is where we have weddings, birthdays, anniversaries. There's a market for everybody. And I always tell people that the events management business, especially for Nigeria has one of the richest markets because it is only in Nigeria that you would have somebody say, I want to just do after party alone. And the person will make good profits, good money from just dealing with after party, selling of after party props, after party drinks. Because as Nigerians, we are really good with parties. And there is caterers, we have DJs, we have MCs. Now we now even have hype man. So 5 years ago, nobody knows what hype man is. 3 years ago, but now we have people that will tell you, "Oh, I'm an energetic god. I'm a this person. I'm a that person." And basically, what the person is doing is just hyping, and they pay good money for you to come into the event and turn the after party upside down and make people, like they used to say now, oh, make people lose their home training. So what I'm saying is the event planning in Nigerian industry is our industry in our country here is a very beautiful one. Is big, is lucrative. If you have your clientele, if you know your onions, and if you can deliver well. So it's not enough for you to just say, oh, I want to become a wedding makeup artist, or I want to be a. Now we have a gala stylist. We have people that is what they do. And in one Saturday, you see that they have 5 brides to go and tie their gele. They have party aunts. We call them the ashwebi ladies, the mummies, the aunties, and that is what they want. That is what they do. So in summary, our industry in our country is a very lucrative one. It's an industry where when you come into, regardless of your state or regardless of your location, as long as you can utilize social media and you can utilize the tool and you know how to put your business out there, you're good at what you do, you render excellent services, your deliverable is prompt, is prim and proper, you know your onions, you know the right skills, you have the right staff, you're good to go.
All right, thank you very much, Joyce, for joining us. You just mentioned some of the trappings that we have for our weddings and even for events, how people have different aspects of it that they want to focus on. But for someone who wants to have an event, when you think about these things and your budget, how should you then make your request for the event planner? For instance, you want to have a wedding. What are the necessary things you should do? And how should that form your budget? What are the necessary ones that you can have? You can't do everything. So what are the necessary ones that you can just do and have your budget? How do you plan for that budget and how do you stick to it?
Okay, thank you very much. So like I always say, the lifeline of every event is the budget. The budget is like your map. So if you're going somewhere and you need to know where you're going to, and you of course you use your Google map to say, okay, direct me to this point, take me to this place. That is what a budget is. A budget is a map that lets you know that, okay, this is what we are doing for this event and this is how we are going about it. Now, before you get to your budget, there's something they call event processes. So first of all is reaching out to a planner who you've deemed fit that, oh, you trust this person or a company, planning company to handle your events, either through referral or because you just feel like, oh, I've been to this person's job, I know this person is capable. The moment you reach out to the individual or the planning company to say, I want so XYZ planning company to plan my wedding. So there's something we call consultation. So from consultation, because these are the things that actually form the budget, we just don't jump to a budget. So you do a consultation. Hello, I would like you to do this for me. This is what I want to achieve for my wedding. This is how I want to go about it. This is what I want to do. This is what I have done. All those things put together, we call it a brief. Like yesterday, I still had a consultation meeting with a potential bride for next year. So everything comes together as a brief. So you know that, oh, this is what we are going to do. Then after that, the planning company sits down. But two things that makes up a budget. Number one, the client's wants. Number one is needed. We need to know, what do you want? Because what I want for my wedding is different from what you want for your wedding. So the client wants, number one, is important. And number two thing is the vendors. We have to marry those things together. Your wants, is it realistic to the vendor that you want us to get? Once you're able to get those two things are right, then you present a budget. Okay, based on what we said, I'm going to be using so amount of money for food. So amount of money is going to clothes. So amount of money is going to decor. This is what we are going to do. And your guest number. You can't do a budget without a guest number. So if I'm going to be spending 1 million naira on my decor for probably 20 guests, I would likely get luxury for that. But that same 1 million naira, you can't use it to decorate a place for probably 2,000 guests. They don't match. And talking about sticking to a budget, I always advise, and I will keep saying it, and I feel every event planner would definitely agree with me. We always tell, dear clients, be sincere with your budget. It is instrumental. If you don't have a budget, it's like saying that if you don't stand for something, you will fall for everything. That's the same thing applicable to your wedding or to your event. If you don't stick to your budget and say, I am going to be spending so amount of money for my event, and the planner has been able to help me break down this lump sum of money into bits. So 10% is going into decor. We are doing food. We're having 2 caterers. This is the total. Then you see it, and the planner shares it with you as a client. You might need to say, oh, I think the food is too high. I think we should beat down this decor. I think the photography should have more money because I want to do more. Once you have that, and I always tell every client, can we please have a miscellaneous? Miscellaneous is actually important because of unforeseen circumstances. Once you have that, you have no excuse to say, I spent so many naira so far and I don't know what I've done with it. No, it's obvious. Oh, I gave the planner 1.5 million naira last week. This is how they disbursed the money. So you will know that for every money that's coming into your account or leaving your account, there's an account for it. It's accountable. You can know where it's going to. And I will say again, stick to your budget. Don't tell us to do a budget of so amount of money. Then at the end of the day, you now come back and say, oh, I don't have up to this, or add this and the money, and you know that you don't have it. And that's why for every planner, whenever we send a budget out, we do something called budget defense. So it's just you present it to your clients. This is why we are putting this at this period, because budget too is also done based on client priority. I know some clients that their priority is food. So you know that event, we need to put attention on food. So we need to get quality food and we need to get more food. Some clients priority or highlight is decor. So you know that some bride will, and that's why consultation is important. Some bride will tell you, no, my all must be wow. People should come into my hall and say, is this small heaven? So for that kind of bride or that kind of client, you cannot give them a decor less, because that is their priority. And some people tell you, I don't care about food. If people eat or I don't care, all this fine, but my looks are very important. I need to look good. I need to be clear. I need the best of the best makeup artist. That is why I said your wants, what you want, what is your priority, is actually shapes the budget. So we know where to put priority on, and we know where not to really well. We can actually do this or do that. So I don't know if I was able to, like, if with everything I've said, you've gotten a clearer picture. And just to say in conclusion that clients should always stick to their budget. It helps. The moment you believe your planner, and sticking to your budget is because you trust your planner. So if one auntie comes tomorrow and say, we need to do this, one mommy comes tomorrow, you just tell them, oh, there's no room for it. The planning company has sorted everything, and this is what we are doing.
Talk to us about some of the common mistakes being made when it comes to budgeting on the part of the couple and on the part of the event planner. From your experience, some of the common mistakes being made by couples or by the event planners when it comes to sticking to budget and then coming up with a budget for their wedding.
Okay, thank you very much for that question. So number one mistake that the clients make is lack of trust. Not trusting the planning company. That's number one. If you don't trust what your planner has given to you, there's a high tendency that you might not go with what they want. And number two mistake is sincerity. So every planner knows has experienced this. We ask the client, okay, thank you for reaching out to us. Thank you for having us in mind as your preferred service provider for your wedding or for your events. Can we please know what your budget is? And they tell you, oh, I don't know. I don't have a budget. Then the moment you tell them, oh, okay, this event, based on what you said, will cost so amount of money. They say, Abana, that's too much. Then the question you ask them is, how did you know you did not have how did you know that was so expensive if you did not have a budget? So it's always nice when clients are being sincere with us. Like, and I feel because there's a misconception, like, oh, if you let them know, they would actually probably make a profit out of it or do this or do that. And that misconception has made a lot of clients hold back. So they push you into the battle zone to say, get it done, without them letting you know what to get done. Those are what the common mistakes that we make. So when I reach out to a client and I'm a vendor, I can tell a vendor, oh, I want so, I want this and this and that because I know this is what my budget would carry. But if you don't give me, I just go open. So though experience has helped us, so if you have been in the industry for a while and you've done this over and over, experience has helped us to know that, okay, when a couple talk like this, so you know what questions to ask to be able to get your answers. Now, what mistakes as planners also made? Number one is not setting realistic budgets. You are not being realistic to know that these services cannot cost, these services or this brief does not go with this price. That's number one mistake. Number two is trying to probably get an elephant deliverable for probably an ant's budget. So we planners, we probably sometimes put our vendors in a tight corner. Do this, do that, and at the end of the day, the vendor probably doesn't deliver. Then we say, oh, we are angry. Let me give an example, a practical example. You go on Instagram, you see a decoration that might cost 5 million naira. You bring it to the vendor's desk and you say, I want you to do this thing for me for 500,000. You go back and forth. The vendor tells you, oh, I cannot do this, I cannot do that. And you know that sincerely, this is more expensive. This is not the price. But you are trying to get a cheaper vendor to do it. So rather than you going to a vendor like that, oh, this person can get the job done. So a lot of times we are not realistic enough to tell our clients the truth. Maybe fear of not losing out, not losing the job. Those are one of the issues that we make. And another thing again is we need to be detailed with invoices. What do I mean? During this subsidy situation, we realized that vendors will send you an invoice and they will tell you invoices expire after so time. And you do not read everything. They just send you an invoice, you look at the price and you forward to a client. Then you probably do not make payments ahead. Then you tell the client, oh, then the vendor, it's not time to make payments, and the vendor is telling you, oh, I'm so sorry, your invoice has expired. And it begins to do back and forth. Now, how do you go back to tell the client that, oh, I'm sorry, that amount is no longer valid? Because a client will presume or perceive you as, oh, this person is shady. So we need to pay attention to details. The budget is, like I've said, is the map, is the lifeline of every event. If your figures are not correct, if you don't pay attention, if you don't reach out to the right vendors, if you're not realistic, if you're not being honest and firm, you're going to make a lot of mistakes. And at the end of the day, you now start putting your money. And if you don't listen, so clients always talk. You need to listen to their unspoken words. You need to listen to what they are saying and what they are not saying verbally. You need to pay attention to everything so that you don't make that mistakes and you now come back. And what you should have done, you're now coming back to trying to adjust it.
Okay, so how do you ensure communication with your clients? How do you ensure that you carry the clients along so that it doesn't happen that on the day of the wedding or the day of the event, they're seeing things that perhaps they don't agree with? Yes, the told you their budget, what they would want, but they've not seen it actually. So how do you connect all the dots from the beginning to ensure that it is what the client wants?
Okay, so number one, there's something we call mood board. As a planner, before your day of events, especially when you're paying for full planning services, we do a mood board for you. So we tell you this is a pictorial representation of what to expect. This is what your stage will look like. This is what this person and this is what that person or this vendor or that vendor will be doing. That's number one. Number two, which is where the communication, we are able to put the communication together and create a synergy, is what we call vendors meeting. Vendors meeting most times happen, let me say 10 days to 1 week, or maybe 4 or 5 days to your wedding. All vendors come together with the client. We sit down and we begin to dot the I's and stroke the T's. Then the vendor tells you, oh, my name is XYZ vendor, and I'll be delivering this, and that. So you're listening that, oh, for cocktail, I paid for 100 cups. So the vendor will tell you, for this event, I'll be serving 100 cups of cocktail, 50 cups of mocktail. The usher tells you, oh, we'll be delivering 10 hostesses at your event. Live band will tell you, oh, I'm coming with a 15-man team. That is where we synergize everything. So through the vendors meeting, you are sure that, oh, what I paid for, there's no surprises. And if there will be surprises, is at the vendors meeting that we are able to put everything together and be on the same page, especially for vendors that it is not the planner that actually sourced for them. Probably it came from a friend or a referral or family and friend. That is where we create a web to bring everybody together. And with that being done, everybody understands what they are doing. There's a synergy. The DJ knows when to stop. The live band knows when to play. The caterer number one knows when to serve. Small chops know when to stop. There is a synergy. And we have something called an events flow. An events flow is when you create a flow of what we are going to be doing the whole of the day. You share it with your clients, they see it, and they'll tell you, oh no, I don't think by 2 p.m. I want this to happen. I think you should take it back to 4 p.m. or probably take it forward or take it backward. So with all of this, the communication is on point. There are no room for surprises, and there's no room for what I ordered versus what I got.